Hello everyone, and welcome back to Renowned Explorers International Society, The Emperor's Challenge. Last run was interesting. I am sensing a pattern in some areas where I am having trouble recently, and I like to try to get better at those. We'll see if we end up going to some of those places that I had a pattern of having difficulty with in this next run. This is going to be a good one because we have a choice again. It is a new weekly challenge and a new daily challenge, so we have two to check out. All right, let's take a look. Survivalist team and secondary of treasure hunt spotter. All right, that could be very interesting. And amazing speech defense with a secondary challenge of secret spotter. Interesting. The amazing speech, well, any of the amazing defenses or amazing attacks or amazing grit or any of those are very interesting because the easiest way to get them is with gold. You can just get the secret shop unlocked and have enough gold to buy the really, really good defensive items in the shop, in that secret shop, and you will tend to get these challenges done, these amazing defenses or attacks or grits or whatever they are, challenges done. It doesn't work too well with Secret Spotter. And, you know, we just did a run with Secret Spotter being one of the main attractions of it. So I'm considering passing on this one for now. The daily challenge, and that's the weekly challenge too, so we have time to come back to that one if we'd like to in a couple of days. The daily challenge, survivalist team. Now again, I tend to not be as enthused about the survivalist team challenges just because you have to train more than one person in survivalist typically, or in whatever skill it is, whatever perk it is, in order to get enough points to really make it worth your while. But Treasure Hunt Spotter, on the other hand, I'm very excited about. I love getting Treasure Hunt, and they're very easy to get too, especially with the gold tree, which gives you a free treasure hunt for every treasure you get. Survivalist team. Now, occasionally, for some of the perks, things like Quick Thinker, things like Athlete, what's another one? Diplomat, there are campfire cards that will give every person in your party one level of a perk. I do not think there is one of those for Survivalist. But anyway, give me a second. I'm going to do some planning, and I will come back and talk to you guys again as soon as I've figured out what team I want. All right, I am back, and as you see before you, this is the team I have decided on. Now, this is going to look like a very interesting team, probably. So let me explain a little bit of my reasoning, and then we can go ahead and get into the run. I'm glad I decided to cut it off there, because it took me probably about 15 or 20 minutes to decide what I was going to do. There was a lot to consider here, and there's a lot of things I could have done that may have been better, I don't know. But this is going to be at least interesting, so let's put it that way. My first thought, survivalist team, so we have to have a survivalist, right? Alright, cool. Well, that tells us a lot, because if we're going to go survivalist, we really want to pick other people who work well as survivalists, right? And survivalists are really good at nature challenges. Now, nature challenges require a survivalist, a naturalist, or an athlete. Those are the three. So, if you're going to go for a high-level survivalist, you probably also want a naturalist and an athlete. So that narrowed it down quite a bit. My options for naturalist especially were very interesting. You have options like Hildegard, decent naturalist, obviously, very, very good friendly. You have Ivan, who can actually learn naturalist as his secondary ability. You have Anna, who's a very, very good naturalist and excellent as a captain, of course, and works really well with naturalist because her study token gets improved. So the more nature challenges you go to, the more study tokens you get, the better you get on study. But I've done Anna as a captain for maxing out your study token a couple of times, and I probably will again if we ever get a max out your study token challenge. So I didn't want to use her here. So I decided to go eventually with Amelia, which has not been my leader very often. However, I really like her captain perk. Starting an expedition with a tool? Great. I love tools. I talk about it all the time. They're my favorite thing in the game. If you're just going to take a raw, like, one thing for pure power, a tool, in my opinion, is the way to go. But she also gets an extra study every time you enter a nature challenge, which we're going to do a lot of with the survivalist and Amelia, of course, being a naturalist. So that's good. But to round out the team, you really want an athlete. And so I looked for a little bit at what athlete was going to go with Amelia, and there really isn't that many options. Amelia is, well, they claim she's good in a friendly and devious crew. Really, Amelia is a friendly character. And I would never take her in a devious crew. I would take her in a... I would take her in an aggressive crew, maybe, occasionally, because her aggressive attack is fine. But her devious attack is not very good. 80% chance to hit, and only 75% her speech power. But her friendly attack is very good, and she gets Tranquility, which is an awesome heal, AoE heal for your whole party. Really nice. So if you're going to Amelia, you're pretty much locked into either aggressive or friendly. And athletes that are aggressive, of course, are a dime a dozen. But athletes that are friendly, not so much. You can go Victor. Victor is decent in a friendly group. You can go Hojo. Hojo is actually an athlete secondarily, and he is excellent in a friendly group. But I've taken him a lot. Now, if you were just looking to do the best group you could, and you really wanted Amelia as your captain, I'm not sure why, but if you really wanted Amelia as your captain, Hojo would be the obvious pick for a athlete. He's excellent in a friendly crew, but I've used him a couple times in a row, and even though his campfire card is very good for treasure hunt spotter, I just don't want to go with him again. So we're going to go with someone else. We're going to go with Ivan. Now, Ivan, not typically who you'd think of for a friendly crew, but his campfire card is Vow of Peace. Ivan vows not to use violence anymore and to put more effort into being an Orthodox missionary. Ivan loses 50% of his attack, but gains half of his armor as speech. Ivan's Try to Excite also increased to 100% hit chance. This makes Ivan an insanely strong friendly character. You can continue to give him armor the entire game, and his speech will just get better and better the more armor you give him, which is great. But you have to get this card, and you need it relatively early, or you're going to be down a member for your expedition. So that is a risk. And then that just leaves your third member, and we needed a survivalist. I was wavering between Kiwi or Padrino for a little bit here, and I finally just decided on Padrino because at least it gives us some AoE. We didn't have any in the team yet. We have a heal from Amelia, but otherwise she's single target. Ivan is all single target, and Padrino would round out our AoE. So I chose him. This will give us all the required perks to be really good at nature challenges. So that'll be nice. Yeah, that'll be nice. The other advantage here is that Amelia's campfire card, if we can get it, upgrades your discovery after you visit enough nature challenges. So that'll just, feed in again. Now, why are we putting all this effort into study if we have a secondary challenge of treasure hunt spotter? I know. Unfortunately, if you're going to do a survivalist, you're going to want to go to nature challenges because that's the only thing survivalists are good at. If you're going for treasure hunts, typically you'd want engineers and rogues, but I couldn't find anyone that fit both of the categories I needed. So I'm just going to try to give someone some engineering perks. I don't know who yet. Maybe Amelia, just because she has Polymath as one of her cards, which basically gives you free renown if you have a naturalist, engineer, and archaeologist all in one person. Although we are an Emperor's Challenge, so renown isn't that big a deal. So we'll see. Anyway, but I would like to give someone some engineering and some rogue perks just to try to get some more treasure hunts. But really, the majority of our treasure hunts are going to come from probably the research paper that gives you a treasure hunt after finding each treasure. That's going to be our main income there. And I think that will be fine. It is our secondary challenge after all. It's not our primary, so it's not something we have to really go after. Now for our starter, we will start with the Celtic Code for that extra nature challenges. This does put the question of what new item are we going to go for, right? Egypt is obviously always an option. Just make sure you have 50 gold before you enter and hope to get that trader. We're not starting with the Saxon King, so 2 of the treasures we need are out right there. There is the treasure on the Awakened Island. Lots of nature challenges there, so we might heavily consider that. In fact, I bet that is where we're going to go at one point. And in Agogic Archipelago, It's good for friendly. There's still 3 treasures there I think we haven't gotten, so that's obviously worth a look. Although I suspect one of them is Phelan's story card, which we won't be able to get here, obviously. And that leaves the end. Now, one of my regrets about choosing a friendly crew is that in Shangri-La, we already have all of the friendly treasures. Or, well, I take that back. We have 2 of the friendly treasures, and we're missing the friendly plus campaign one, but we're not going campaign this run. There's no way. However, we are missing one of the treasures on the Lost Island, and I do believe I know where it's from. And we have never seen that boss while recording, so you know what? I'm thinking about going to the Lost Island. Not only that, the Lost Island is full of nature challenges, so that all works out very nicely. So that's our plan. Our plan right now is maybe Egypt, definitely Awakened Island probably, definitely Lost Island. Try to get as much nature as possible, pick up treasure hunts along the way from different research trees and possibly from a specialty entourage. And try to get Ivan's Vow of Peace and Amelia the Botanist very, very early. So, so that Ivan can be useful and so that Amelia can start leveling up our discovery tokens respectively. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Let's do this. And Pedrino's just there for pure power. That's it. He's just really strong. And he's a survivalist, so... He also gives us an option, if we would like, of adding a beguiler to our crew. We don't have a diplomat or a beguiler, so just having someone who can do some diplomacy might come in handy at some point. Alright, here we go. We don't need the tutorial. Let's do this thing. And we are headed for the Druidic monument of some sort. Yes. And right off the bat, we have 2 places we can get science and a odd event, and I definitely want to go to that. Hopefully that's either a free perk or... It's almost certainly a free perk. Let's go check it out. The outdoors are not for everyone, but walking in such pristine landscape is bound to inspire someone to gain a passion for biology. Now, unfortunately, that's the one thing that Amelia already has. She already has naturalist biology, which is really unfortunate. But Ivan can also learn to be a naturalist, so let's give him naturalist biology. Might as well. The tweeting birds, the little bugs, and the fact that no 2 trees are the same, yet they all might be one family, Ivan is finally grasping the beauty of it all and gains the naturalist biology perk. Now, one benefit we are getting from this is naturalist biology, or any naturalist perk, does give you a little bit of speech power, and since we are going to hopefully have Ivan become a Orthodox missionary and rely on his speech, that will be good for him. Okay, let's continue. What an amazing place. The nature here has remained untouched for ages, and the forest cliffs hold some valuable ore. We need to focus on one task if we want to get a good result, or we can spend 2 supplies to get them both. At this point, the study is more important to me, but I actually am considering spending the supplies to get both. That might not be a good idea. No, we're gonna do it. Extra stuff early is really valuable, and we can afford to take some debuffs here from running out of supplies. A natural phenomenon that's worth researching. Well, Amelia can have a chance at it, 56%. We'll see how she does. Not very well, apparently. Alright, well, Amelia was not fully sharp. Poor Amelia. Sharpen your shovel in your spare time. It will go well for you. Probably. I mean, either it'll be easier to dig with, which is nice, or you can use it to bash someone over the head. Either way. The crew walks over some fallen trees in the forest when Ivan slips and falls. Goes tumbling down before landing bottom first on a rotten trunk, breaking the trunk in 2. Amelia realizes that the rotten trunk actually holds some interesting mold samples. Very nice. A lucky accident. And there's our campfire already. Now remember, top 2 we're looking for. Amelia's campfire card and Ivan's campfire card. We need both of those relatively early. Well, there's Ivan's right off the bat. So you know what? I'm not even gonna think second about it. That is the one we're going to take. Now, I'm going to throw away the campaign, throw away the resolve, and we will throw away campaign charm. We really want Amelia's campfire card coming up as soon as we can get it. So, here we go. Ivan has had enough of this. When he tries to help people or get somewhere, he's always has to punch people. This is not what his heart tells him to do. He makes a vow of peace. He will only use his physicality to empower his words. I mean, that's what they all say, right? what is that supposed to be? It's just like you're gonna say something nice, and if they don't listen, then you'll punch them. Is that how that works? He's also going to do what he always feels like he could have done: become an Orthodox missionary. All right. 50% of his attack goes down the drain, but he gains half his armor as speech, and his try to excite hit chance increases to 100%. Of course, Ivan is not alone in this adventure. He respectfully asks Pedrino what he thinks of his vow, and Pedrino, being a nice chap, says that is fantastic. Of course, Pedrino, and this is the kind of guy Pedrino is, we've seen this before, is overjoyed with Ivan putting his actions where his heart is. Pedrino is very proud of Ivan's resolution. What about Amelia? Ivan respectfully asks for her moral support as well, and Amelia is a kind person, and she loves the idea as well. Now, this is not always the case. You can be paired with party members that are really unhappy about this. But Amelia's a really nice gal. She just has a good heart. And so does Pedrino, actually. We picked a very kind team here. Hopefully that won't get us into trouble down the road. Ivan is adamant that he's doing the right thing. He immediately starts practicing his missionary lines. Hello, ma'am. Have you heard of the good Christ and his apostles? The crew is indeed curious to see where this leads. All right. Let's go ahead and see if Ivan has updated here. Yep. Plus 16 speech power from half of his armor and minus 50% of his attack power. So that puts him at, well, at the moment it says 15 speech power, but I do not think that the armor has factored in yet. In fact, I'm positive it hasn't. So this will go up to a total of 31 speech power, which is pretty good. That's actually more than either of the other two at the moment. And what do we got here? 5 armor on Pedrino because he is fond of Ivan, and 5 armor on Amelia as well. Very nice. We do have a nature challenge here. I'm tempted to go down here first, though. Let's make a loop. An overgrown rock formation with some rare herbs. Okay. But we can also mine the rock for minerals. I'd rather have the research in this case. Ivan has found someone to tell about the Orthodox faith. With his shaky voice and a nervous smile, he introduces some of the locals to the Eastern Church. Okay, interesting. The locals are interested. They listen carefully to Ivan and take his message to heart. Whether they convert or not, Ivan feels like they have learned to understand each other better. Hey, cool, we got some extra encounter for that. We are out of supplies. Pedrino loses some attack power, but that's no big deal. We are a friendly crew. Yeah, we are out of supplies already, though, which is kind of concerning. What a weird place. The ground is getting increasingly soft and the air starts to smell foul. Smell foul. Wow. Small foul. Yeah. Amelia thinks you might have reached a pretty special point in this forest. Fossilized remains. All right, 66% chance for Amelia to try to figure something out here. Minus 2 supplies if we fail, but we don't have any supplies, so I'm not too worried. We'll go ahead and take the chance, I guess. I hesitate to call it a chance because it can only be positive. Amelia returns with a smell worse than the London sewers, but with good results. Found some valuables and also a possibility of some sort of prehistoric item. Amber, a herbivore skeleton, or a helix fossil. Now, if we were good Twitch Plays Pokemon fans, we would, of course, go for the Prophet, the helix. Personally, I am a fan of Amber because I love Jurassic Park. And then there's the herbivore dino skeleton, which I believe is the Pachycephalosaurus skull. Which used to be one of my favorite dinosaurs. So this is indeed a very, very difficult choice. I think I will go... Why don't we go for our Prophet, the Helix fossil this time? Who knows? We might not get it anyway. 75% chance, though. We'll see. And there he is. 5 collect or a treasure hunt. Okay, well, that's actually fairly convenient. We'll just take a treasure hunt. That will finish our treasure hunt spotter right off the bat. Very good. And 2 study as well. Amelia loses some attack power. That's fine. Lose all the attack power you guys want. No big deal. And there's our couple points for treasure hunt spotter. Nice. Didn't expect to get one that early, so I'm pretty happy about that. And Amelia has leveled up. Now we can give her Archaeologist Excavation or Naturalist Classical Physics. And we're definitely going to take the Naturalist perk. Gives some speech defense, which is really nice. Archaeologist would give a speech power, which would be good as well. But Excavation is relatively easy to get on an Archaeologist. And Naturalist is going to be more handy for nature challenges. So, and again, that's kind of what we're structuring our running it around. An encounter here. Let's go check it out. A pack of hungry wolves. All right. We'll convince them they're not so hungry. Or if they are, they can hunt something else. That's not us. We're not really concerned with the fate of various prey animals of the forest, as long as those prey animals are not us. Okay, Amelia cannot quite take out a wolf with one hit. That's okay, though. Let's see what Ivan can do. Hopefully he's been updated now. Let's take a look. Yes, he's up to 32 speech power. That should be more than enough, I would think, to take out a wolf. No, it's not. Wow. Kind of surprised. I suppose his try to excite is only 80% speech power, even though it has gotten up to a 100% hit chance. So that is part of that. Let's see what Padrino can do here. Padrino also cannot quite finish off a wolf. So I think I'm actually going to buff Padrino and see if that makes the difference. I would like to get rid of at least one wolf. Yeah, I have to roll pretty high to get that one. We'll try it. Might as well. Okay, we didn't. So we're going to take 3 attacks this turn. Although, actually, probably 3 attacks. I was going to say maybe only 2, but that wolf could have sneaked by there, so they do get all 3 off. Fortunately, Ivan has a lot of armor and doesn't really care. Actually, Amelia, pretty tanky as well. Now, we do have a Painbringer challenge on this fight, but our chances of doing 35 attack damage to one target in one attack is practically 0. So we're just not going to worry about it. We'll try Padrino on this one in the hopes he rolls high this time. He didn't. That's alright. We were only going to take out 2 this turn regardless of what we did, so might as well try to get the high roll. Alright. One more turn, we'll finish off this last wolf and move on with our lives. Now there was a Mr. and Mrs. Devious quest here as well that we could have tried for, but at this point I'm willing to respect Ivan's vow of peace and have him be very, very friendly, and our other crew members are just friendly blokes as well, friendly chaps. I was going to say friendly chaps and then I changed my mind to say friendly blokes, and then I mixed the two up and I was going to say like laps or something. It didn't work. Let's just put it that way. It didn't work. Ivan has found another person to tell about the Orthodox faith. Wow, okay. They're very excited. They take Ivan to a local meeting site where he preaches for hours. Enthusiastic about the ideas Ivan pronounces, they want to build a small shrine. Ivan and the crew help them create the shrine, and Ivan dispatches a message to the Patriarch of Yekaterinburg to set up a contact. 4 encounter from that. Wow. After all the work is done, Ivan takes a moment to thank the crew. Regardless of whether they agree with Ivan's philosophy or religion, they were still there to help, and that is true camaraderie. In tears, Ivan tells them he doesn't deserve such good friends. He will always be there for them, too. Well, that was really fast to get done with that crew story. Happened within 3 moves or something. And 10% extra speech power for liking Padrino, and 5 extra spirit for liking Emily. Adorkable. Very nice. Okay. I really want to continue looking around, even though we're taking debuffs constantly. We should at least go here and grab a treasure hunt or a discovery. Whether we want to go here or not is another question. We may skip this. I'm feeling a little rushed here. There's the Hidden Hoard. Would rather have the discovery at this point or the treasure hunt. And I think for our first one, I'm going to take the discovery. Mostly just because I want to be able to fill out some research trees right at the beginning. Ivan lost some more attack. We don't care. He's pure speech power now. And a protective group of wolves. Protecting their puppies, as it turns out. But that's okay. We're not going to be mean to them. We're not going to beat them up. We're not going to insult their puppies. We're not going to make them feel bad. We're just going to convince them we are friendly. We're going to domesticate them in a way. I mean, that's kind of how the first dogs happened, we assume, right? Friendly enough to a wolf, and eventually you form a lifelong partnership that you can then ruin by crossbreeding and selective breeding them into tiny little rat terriers that yip and have heart attacks. And their poor ancestors look on in shame and horror. Or something like that. That sounds about right. Not that I have anything against most terriers. I actually used to have terriers. Terriers growing up. I used to have miniature schnauzers. But I am not as fond of the little tiny rat dogs. I like terriers though. Terriers are cool. Working dogs, right? They're bred specifically to hunt things like gophers and moles, and rats, and all sorts of interesting things. And they haven't lost that to this day. They're definitely hunting dogs, which at least makes them a little useful, in theory. Although most of the hunting dogs, hunting terriers that people have as pets today don't ever do that. But theoretically, the genes are still there, the instinct is still there. Alright. That's definitely not true of our cats. There's absolutely no hunting instinct there whatsoever. Except for, well, there's a little bit of a hunting instinct in Merlin for pieces of carpet. He likes to eat those. There's a little bit of a hunting instinct in Callie for paper towels, toilet paper, and currently the TV screen. That pretty much sums up their hunting skills. Alright, anyway, let's level up our other two members. Ivan, let's give him some more athlete perks. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to help him very much by giving him attack power, but he also actually gets some speech power from this, mostly because he gets some armor. So, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Pedrino. I think we're just gonna take Pedrino straight survivalist for now. We might take him a little bit begather later, but yeah, I think just pure survivalist for the moment is the way to go. And I am gonna check out what's down here just out of curiosity. Oh, there are some supplies there. That's good. I'm glad we went over here. We're gonna take one more debuff. Amelia loses some armor, but then we can go grab some supplies, grab these last two nodes, and then move on to the end here. Music coming from a meadow, but no one is in sight. A type of twin flower with the wind is making the sound, so we get a few study from that. And one last node. And we get some broken Celtic pottery, some study, and some coins. Alright, so we only missed one node, not too shabby. We'll go ahead and finish this. We did take 5 debuffs, but 3 of the 5 were, actually, I think we took 6 debuffs. Or 7? Did we take 7? We might have taken 6 or 7 debuffs, but fortunately, most of those were, or at least half of them, were hits to our attack power, which we don't really care about, so that's good. And we didn't lose any of our speech power, even better. Amir is going to come after us. Now, Amir is actually the character that's the worst for us, because he does not appreciate it if you are friendly at all. He thinks that means you are weak. But we do get an extra encounter because Ivan is a Orthodox missionary from solving encounters friendly. That's one of the things that was in his campfire card. And Petrino, very nicely, has leveled up and gotten party time, which if you've ever seen me play this game with Petrino before, you know that I absolutely adore party time as a move. It's so good. Alright, I would have liked to have gotten back here and tried to work on these two, but we can't get in range. So instead, I'm just going to move everyone back into this corridor. And actually, every one of our members has a way of buffing our other members, which means that we can back up like this and buff a whole bunch of people. I did that wrong. I should have buffed Amelia with Pedrino and then Ivan with Amelia, and I didn't do it. So poor Amelia gets left out. Oh well. Now, we do have very little armor right now because of those debuffs, and that has also hurt Ivan's speech quite a bit. Instead of having 31, he only has 26, because he loses speech as he loses armor, since he gets an additional speech for half his armor, right? And that actually will hurt his attack, which is an interesting thing to consider with Ivan, once he has his campfire card. Alright, party time. We can party time right here in the middle, and I think we're going to. Pretty effective, and hopefully we'll be able to just take out Amir right now. I don't think we will have to do anything else. Ooh, actually maybe, because both Amelia and Ivan cannot get in range on the same turn, which is a little unfortunate. Alright, well, we'll bring Amelia down. We'll let her try to attack here. Very good. Yeah, if Ivan could actually get in range, he would be able to finish off Amir this turn, but he cannot. So instead, we'll just bring him over here. We should also take a look at what our goals are. Inconvincible, alright. 11 or less speech damage from a single ability. Might get that. Right here, in fact, we just took 8 damage. So that should do it. And Mr. and Mrs. Davis, which we're going to ignore. I split up my team on purpose a little bit there. I was hoping that both of these would go after Ivan. Only one of them did, but that's okay. And that basically just meant that we were pretty sure that no one on our team would go down because they're splitting up their efforts. Go ahead and finish off that Mook. Might as well. And then we'll throw an attack at Amir here. Pretty straightforward. Of course, the first battle usually is. Amir thinks you're weak. Of course he does. You thought you won over Amir's heart, but he laughs in your face. Your kindness is weakness. Goodbye. He leaves to follow Rivalo, who has somehow managed to get away with a whole Manir while you were busy. Like, that whole thing's gone. You know, Amir, Cassandra, who he has a crush on, by the way, Cassandra might take to you better if you were a little bit nicer. She is a kind person, after all. She likes that diplomacy, and you're not much for it. Just a little tip there. Rivalo is gone with the main man here, but a hooded figure appears on the scene. Amazing! I saw how you handled that encounter just now. Your friendly solution is admirable. I'm honored that someone like you is looking for our history. Please tell me, what is the dream you chase? Well, we definitely want to make an amazing contribution to the sciences. Remember, that is our goal here. And I'd love to get the Sea Sapphire. It's a very good item for people going science. Here we get. We did get the Sea Sapphire. Excellent. +1 study at the end of each expedition for each level of archaeologist or engineer, or just 5 study. Unfortunately, we don't have a good archaeologist or engineer. We have 1 level of archaeologist and 0 of engineer. Even more annoyingly, I would like to actually get engineer at some point, but not archaeologist. So, I'm tempted to just take the 5 study. It may be a long time before we have enough engineering levels to make 5 study out of this item. Which is a little disappointing. I think I'd rather have the 5 study right away than like 6 or 7 study over the entire expedition. So we're just going to do that. With this last find, your expedition concludes on a high note. Alright, very good. Let's head to the overmap. And we'll count up all our study to see how we did. We really just want enough to make sure we can fill out the very first tree. And then we'll save the rest of it for this natural science tree or for the gold tree, the engineering tree, depending on what we decide to do. Alright, pretty decent. Rivalo and I are invited to the Emperor's ceremony. We're both going to decline, I'm sure. I doubt Rivalo is showing up. And we get our 2 supplies for our Renowned Explorer badge. Alright, we are going to keep going next time with the overworld map. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and I will see you guys next time in Renowned Explorers.